Hello, I'm Meredith Coleman McGee, a member of the Learning Tree Book Club here in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes, good morning. I'm Vicki Jenkins. I'm also a member of the book club here in Jackson, Mississippi.
Good morning. My name is Dickinson A. Brown, part of the Community Library Book Club. And I'm out here. I'm part of the Advocate Institution around here in the city of Jackson.
Okay, yeah, tell us what you're doing this morning, D, and where you are.
Um, this
What I'm
morning
doing
I'm down
this
here.
morning is I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
This
D.
morning I'm down. This morning I'm down here in Jackson Convention on East Pascagoula Street. We had our youth justice summit for hosts on this event is Judge Karen Hitz, is a youth court judge, Hines County. She's doing a good event. We had our panel. We had our speaker will be speaking about our young people. The one people get called up going to juvenile detention center for our young people get incarcerated. We
Yeah,
want to. This is when I make sure I tell all young people, don't make the wrong bad decision. Make the right decision. Just to do right in school, get education. We don't want our young people to drop out of school this year because we losing a lot of teachers, lost a job. Teach our young people don't want to learn nothing.
very good. Dickie, you're always doing something good in the community. I mean, every weekend through the week, plus you work, you're just a wonderful person in the city of Jackson, and we just love you for it. Thank you. Thank you.
You welcome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Vicky, you gonna start?
I guess I'll start. I'm gonna keep on with the Ayers case, Ayers versus Wallace case.
Hold it up.
By where I am now is what were the conditions led to the fighting of the suit, the filing of the suit.
Yeah, hold the book up, Vicky.
Can you say?
Oh yes, and that's and the cover is who is that? That's Mr. Ayers,
Yes.
and he was the lawyer, right? All right. All right.
We can begin with the fact that coming out of slavery, there was no public college for Black citizens in the state of Mississippi. As a matter of fact, only the University of Mississippi existed. It, of course, was open only for white students. In 1871, Alcorn State University was established under Morrill Act as a land grant college for Black students. It became the first public colleges for Black students in the state. It is also the first land grant college in the state and the first Black land grant college in the country. Over the next 53 years, 4 additional public colleges were established for white students and none for Black students. Even though the state had a majority of Black population. Mississippi State University was established in 1878 as a land grant college for white students. By that time, the University of Mississippi had given up its agricultural programs. Mississippi University for Women was established in 1884 to prepare white women for employment, provide them with liberal arts education, established as a teacher college for white students. Finally, in 1924, Delta State University was established as the second white teachers college. In 1940, Jackson State University became the second public college for Black students. It was dedicated to the state by the Black Baptist Convention. It was designed to become a state college for the training of Black teachers. Finally, in 1950, Mississippi Valley State University was established as a vocational college for Black students. Several prominent planters desired to have Black college in the Delta so that their workers could be nearby to assist in the work being done in each agricultural season. This means by 1950, there were 5 public colleges for white students and 3 for Black students in the state. It is also meant that the Black citizens were being clearly shortchanged under the racially segregated public higher education system, given the fact that they constituted the majority of the population. Under the circumstances, however, matters were given. Under circumstances, however, matters were even worse than they may appear. For example, over the years, the University of Mississippi State University, and the University of Southern Mississippi managed to garner much of the financial support that each college, in addition to the University of Mississippi Medical Center, had sprouted and grown as a college entity with its own budget. Similarly, Mississippi State University had been granted far more agricultural stations than Alcorn State University. The budget for the University of Mississippi with its medical school was larger than the budget for the 3 Black universities, for the 3 Black colleges combined. The same was true for Mississippi State University, as it affiliated stations. Both conditions remain to this day. Not just the name of the plaintiffs in the state observers, but even the average of the Black citizens recognize those realities. At the same time, political realities had a great deal to do with the white reaction to those conditions. Just as Alcorn was getting established, conservative leaders, many of whom had been Confederate politicians or soldiers, signed their famed redemption overthrowing the Reconstruction government across the state and region. In the Mississippi ex-Confederates then drafted a new Mississippi Constitution in 1890, reducing the support for public education and assuring the school and education colleges would be racially segregated. Finally, in the Pleasant versus Ferguson decision, 1896, the subsequent ruling made it easier for public white colleges to remain separate and receive higher levels of funding. Coupled with the law and court ruling that undercut the development of Black people, their political economic power, and unchecked violence of terrorism groups like the Ku Klux Klan, quote, KKK, even if the individual citizens, Black people, literally at the mercy of the white ex-Confederate, especially since the laws and law enforcement officials not only sided with terrorists, but was in cahoots with the officials. All of this generated an attitude for an docility in the Black population. As a consequence, not much was done to challenge or change the population and regarding the public college for several generations. Meanwhile, in the 1920s, the movement to establish public junior colleges, now mostly renamed community colleges, began. And Mississippi joined the bandwagon in the mid-50s and had 17 such institutions. In a matter of even more racially unbalanced, even in the senior colleges, of the 17 public junior colleges, only 3 were open to Black students. T.J. Harris Junior College, which was established as part of Meridian Public Education System. Coahoma Junior College, in Coahoma County, which grew out of the county's Black Agricultural High School. Utica Junior College in Copiah County, which also developed that became the Hinds County Agricultural High School. By the 1950s, with the returning of many Black veterans, and the Supreme Court handed down the Brown versus Board of Education decision, change became more robust and self-defined. The civil rights movement gained a firm foothold on the several Black colleges and campuses, as well as many Black communities. Therefore, a small but growing core of Black lawyers even began to practice in the state. We would be negligent if we did not also mention several individuals, including Medgar Evers, Clyde Kennard, James Meredith, Johnny Pfizer, Cedric McDowell, as the change agents. They singled out here because they are the historic efforts to desegregate the historically white public colleges. Meredith?
Okay, yeah. So I could you at a breaking point, I could.
Yeah, I'm at a breaking point, yeah.
Okay. So you see, let me see. The Amazing Jimmy Mays. And I'm just gonna start at chapter 1 because there was something in here that I wanted to find anyway.
Okay.
This chapter. You see it? Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
the vision is not so. Um, chapter 1, that blues shuffle, and then 1942, 1960. Compared to most, I've lived an unusual life, lived in a lot of places, and loved a lot of beautiful women. I've been a drummer behind some of the greatest musicians and musical groups in history. Little Walter Jacobs, the best harmonica player who ever lived, called me his son. Tommy Hunt from the Flamingos gave me his last name and called me his brother. I lived for a time with Motown sensation Martha Reeves and her family. I traveled with the Shirelles and the Motown Review, and I played Shea Station behind James Brown. I used to buy reefer and cocaine for Marvin Gaye. Jimi Hendrix was one of my best friends. He was my roommate when we played together behind Joey D and the Starlights. At that time, he was just a side man like me, but he had a vision. I could see it. He had a vision of who he was and what he could do. I want to give the world a part of Jimmy's life that nobody else has talked about. I've still got a picture of him and me wearing go-go dresses at a nightclub in Buffalo, New York. Jimmy used to come to my apartment to practice and listen to his Bob Dylan albums. I played behind the blues giant Jimmy Reed on 3 of the last gigs of his life. 2 other blues greats, Robert Jr., Lockhart, and Earl Hooker, taught me how to live on the road. Buddy Guy, one of the best guitarists ever, lived across the street from me. I made love to Muddy Waters' girlfriend while they were still together. Up until a couple of years ago, I played drums behind blues legends Pine Top Perkins, Herbert Sumlin, and Willie Big Eye Smith, but all 3 of them are gone now. I've lived through racial segregation, the civil rights movement of the 1960s, the integration of rock bands, the emergence of Motown. I personally experienced the sexual and moral revolutions of the 1960s, been robbed of my musical royalties, and survived a musical drought. I've been a pimp and a drug pusher, but the way I look at it, I've lived to tell the tale when so many musicians have not. I survived through 5 painful hip surgeries, and my doctors told me I might never play the drums again. But 50 years ago, after first setting foot on the Chicago stage, I am still playing the blues. I'm a side man to the stars and a witness to music history. Wow, that's something that, and I think we might have to log back on in about 8 minutes, Vicky.
Oh, okay.
I was born July 18th, 1942, in Jackson, Mississippi, where the blues were just a part of ordinary life. Shortly before my birth, my parents joined the so-called Great Migration of Blacks from the South to the industrial cities of the North. My father, Isaiah, found a good job working in Chicago at the print company called R.R. Donnelly. Then he saved up enough money to send for my mother, Carrie, and the 2 of them worked real hard to create a better life for their family. But in order to do that, they had to leave their children behind. So my two older sisters, Shirley and Laverne, my younger brother Chet, and me grew up in Jackson under the care of our mother's parents, Gertrude and Alan Brakefield. We called them Mama and Big Daddy, and we called our parents Mother Dear and Daddy. We lived in a black neighborhood on Pascagoula Street, but white people lived only 3 blocks away on Robinson and Minerva Avenues. There was always racial prejudice when we were growing up, but we really didn't experience it too much until we left our neighborhood. That was because even as kids, we knew our place in the segregated South. Those old Jim Crow laws ruled our lives. Our whole neighborhood in Jackson was like a family. That's the way we were brought up back then. Everybody went to church on Sunday. That was a given. My friends and I would get together every Sunday and we would play ball in a big grassy field. When we got older, we all had roller skates. Everybody would meet up after school to go skating. At a certain time, we would all go back home and eat dinner. If our parents let us, we'd come back out again and skate some more. We walked to school together because nobody had a car. There wasn't much jealousy among us because we were all poor and nobody had much of anything. I remember my family was fortunate enough to have running water and a bathroom, but we didn't have a tub. Mama had a big round tub, and we did everything in that tub. Washed our clothes in it, took a bath in it, and everything else that needed to be done. It's kind of funny now to realize that Mama and Big Daddy raised 4 children in our living room, one bathroom, and a kitchen. But it worked out. Basically, all the families in our neighborhood were like that. We got pretty wild in our 20s, but growing up. So we're gonna resume with the second part in a minute, Vicky, and we're gonna log out and resume.
Oh, okay.
Okay then.
All right.
All right.